Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this week's episode of Gym Owners Podcast. This week, we're going to talk about seasonal marketing, how to leverage the time of year, the impending summertime, wintertime, spring, fall, whatever, to try to freshen up your marketing strategy, get new sales, while also helping your clients get results when it matters most to them. Before we get started, make sure you follow the show at the Gym Owners Podcast on Instagram. You can also get into the Facebook group. Link is in our description. If you want to find out more about what we do business consulting wise for gym owners, go to gymownersrevolution.com. We get in the Gear Academy. We've got the monthly coaching program we do for gym owners. We help them level up their business completely across the board, from their skill set to their staff skill set to social media to sales processes, the whole thing. So if you want your stuff to start kicking ass, go to gymownersrevolution.com. You can follow me at Tyler F. and Stone on Instagram. John, how can they find you?
At JBanksFL on Instagram.
That's the bold, the beautiful, the bald, the bearded John Fairbanks. Guys, let's get started. So this week, guys, one of the things we're starting to talk about is we're turning the corner. Most places have already turned this corner, not where I live, but we've turned the corner to spring. And after following spring is always a bit too short around here, but summer is coming soon. Just please keep telling me this. It's the only thing keeping me alive. But summer is coming. And this is a time of year for gyms, having been in gyms for a lot of years. You can see whether it's group fitness gyms or 24-hour spots, there's a there's a jump start in enthusiasm. It becomes reinvigorated around this time of year, usually. Because what happens, you get the January 1st bunch of people that were, from the couch to doing something, they're going to commit. That commitment lasts a couple of months. Couple of weeks, very often, but a couple of months tops. You start to see, though, come April, come May, in that time before school gets out, there's this kind of big push. And there's a big push because people want to be outside. They're going to be outside. They're going to start wearing shorts. There's no excuse to hide under hoodies, coats, jackets. There's going to be wedding season. There's beach season. There's pool season. There's just all sorts of reasons that people want to look good and feel good. Aside from probably the superficial ones I just listed, those are the only ones that matter to me. If I gotta be outside, this is the time of year where it's like, all right, I've been pizzaing it up for a little bit here. It's like, all right, I gotta drop this. I gotta drop this before the sun's out here. But this is a very important thing for, I think, the seasonal, the yearly flow for how you market your gym. Is it should always look like, from the outside, from someone who comes to find your gym, I think it should look like something exciting is happening when I see a gym. It should look like these guys are doing some stuff. There's exciting. The program should look interesting. The things they're speaking to me about, or the people that they're talking about, it should feel like there's momentum. And I want you guys to use this kind of seasonal trend as a great driver for that momentum. There's really, guys, this leaning into the summer stuff is such a great opportunity for your marketing. I think you can apply that tone to probably at least one out of every 3 of your organic social media posts. I think if you're running ads, I think that can be the tone of your ad campaigns. If you're running Facebook ads and things like that for this time of year, I mean, using this for the summer, fit for the summer, shredded for the summer, or what have we used before? Jacked by July, jacked by June. We've done a lot of these types of, whether it's not necessarily programs, but just an offer, a hook. That terminology, I think, makes sense to people because they feel it that way. I mean, it's great, guys. We can speak to lifelong health and blah, 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 blah. But man, I want that. That's wonderful. But I kind of would like to look good at the beach this summer. I kind of would like to fit into my suits at the weddings this year. I kind of, don't want to be all puffy and fat in my photos again this summer like I did last summer, or whatever it is that is a part of people's psychology. That does appeal more directly than lifelong fitness. Again, get them in for what you get them in for, and then keep them fit for life. That is what it is. It's not about a bait and switch, but it is about using the language that they're using. And these people, those are the needs. That's the box they want to check.
Well, the roughest part about this is, we really experienced this in the classroom when I was a teacher and then an administrator, was you start the school year around August and September. Well, just about every single month during the start of the school year, you have something fun to fucking do.
Yeah.
It's like Halloween is there, and then it's Thanksgiving, and then we got Christmas. And we always knew, we called it the doldrums. was when you got back from Christmas break, there was a miserable fucking time from January to spring break where there was no fun, no breaks, fucking just slogging it out. And then if you taught like middle school, high school, you had like fucking exams to like prep for before you got the spring break. But like, so there was just this dark, and this was even when we were in Florida where there isn't winter. You know what I mean? Like it still is the doldrums, let alone anyone that lives where it snows or it's like the sun no longer comes up for a while. Like you're in a dark fucking place of kind of just like you said, slogging through mentally. And what can happen really easily is that you can get really bogged down in the monotony of like the business or whatever. And there are these artificial times, certainly when the season happens, where it's almost like you can treat it like your gym is opening brand new again. It's almost as though you can have like a totally shift of a mindset where the safest play, and what we're going to go into more today, but it's like the safest play is not thinking that you need to all of a sudden come up with a bunch of new shit. It's now just spicing up and using an excuse to be like, hey, we're now fucking excited to be alive again because the sun is out.
Yeah. It's and that thing, freshening up that pitch is the biggest thing, because we get really stagnant. As a guy that has done a lot of copywriting for a lot of different things for a lot of years, is you need almost any excuse to say something different a little bit, because you can be very direct and you can start to speak to the same people, the same tone, but it becomes very formulaic unless you're able to inject a little bit of a new angle on it. This is did I tell you I told you, I don't know if I talked about on the podcast, the Bert Kreischer thing, the International Women's Day. That wasn't on the podcast, was it?
No, it was not on the podcast. Tell us.
So this is a good example of this. Is I listened to somebody. I used to work in an office next to somebody who was another contractor, like a advertising guy, marketing guy, and it was all the worst types of shit I'd ever heard in my life. It was his client, the people that he had running ads for, that he was running ads for. He'd go in and managing their social media. He'd have to go, okay, so today is International Puppy Day. He would just go to like whatever those stupid holidays were for the day. He's like, okay, can we make a post about that? And it's like, these are, it's like a fucking electrical co-op or like nobody gives a shit what they think about puppies. Nobody's following this account for entertainment, but it's just doing the thing, right? As much as I hate that stuff, it still kind of works if you can make it not shitty. And this was a thing. Bert Kreischer, comedian, one of my ever increasingly least favorite comedians, because I do think he's just a fucking hack. I used to really like him, but it just is really kind of getting old with him. But he had a bit that I thought was a really funny story. Is one of his social media managers or whatever had said, hey, today's International Women's Day. You could make a post today, a video or something about that. And he was like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. I'm not going to come out with some like serious, like, hey, here's, what I mean? It's all because a lot of that stuff is very disingenuous. It just really is patronizing and disingenuous, some invented holiday that we have to care. Like there's like Siblings Day, then there's Sisters Day, then there's Sons Day. Like Jesus Christ, dude. And those are things it's like Hallmark holidays. They're just invented to get you to say some things. Now, Bert Kreischer said the same thing. He was like, I'm not fucking doing that. And then what he ended up doing was a video where it was funny. He did the full disingenuous speech. And he did it standing next to his wife, and he cropped everything but like the top of her fucking head out of the video completely. It's like, here on International, and that now was funny. And that ended up being an extremely successful post, right? And I think that actually does speak to the idea of sometimes you just need to step back and get a fresh angle for how you're communicating. Because gym owners and coaches, especially if you coach, y'all talk about yourself and your skill set a lot, as much as your equipment.
Yes.
Blah, 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 blah. And you ignore some of the most important things out there, like your location. Is it convenient? Where is it? How far away is it from the things and the people? Like that's a pitch that I never fucking see given, is how conveniently located you are. Like never, ever, ever. While understanding that represents like 50% of people's decision making when it comes to choosing a gym, more than half. And you just ignore it because you're like, but I'm smart. Fuck off, dude. And so that is a piece that I think people need to start to recognize a lot, which is, can I speak to something a little bit different? Can I step away from myself in my little gym owner vortex of sitting in here where I know all the things. I know what a person should do in their training, and I know what this should be, what I can do for a person. But we're talking so hard at it where you're just kind of beating up the same well-worn path over and over and over again.
Well, and the dangerous part is, and you sent me a message the other. Hopefully, no one will ever hack our messages
Probably
and
not.
share them with the world, because of the very clear reason that we talk a lot of shit the majority of the time.
Yeah.
And when we see shit that we really, really dislike, we talk a lot of shit about that particular thing. One of these occasions was this exact example, which was we saw somebody in the fitness space that was launching some new thing. We'll keep it vague. Launching some new thing, and it was super, super fucking lame. And the reason why we thought it was lame was because they spent over 50% of the real estate of their launch announcement excitement post talking about all the fucking certifications and degrees and how smart they were. It was all pointing back to that.
Painful.
And it's brutal. And the reason why it's brutal is it's so fucking common for gym owners and fitness people to be, not just gym owners, everybody in the fitness industry to be so overly obsessed with their own ego and their own shit that it has caused a lot of that to be white noise.
Yeah.
And that's why no one is hiring you, because they don't know what the letters mean.
Even worse, John, this wasn't hiring. This was a fucking online product.
Yeah.
It's a fucking app. It's the only app designed by somebody who is a professor of this specific. Fuck off. Like it's the lamest shit in the fucking world. And that's the point. It's like you got to zoom out of this thing that you've been too deep in it where you think it matters. It's like you see some of these people. This is a lot of the things that come out of this. You've been stranded in this fucking smelling your own farts university fucking culture situation where you think that fucking matters to somebody who's thinking about downloading a fucking fitness app.
So I went into the comments because apparently I had an extra 30 seconds. I did.
I did not. Okay.
And there was a dude that did him a solid, and I guarantee you, and he did it super, super, like he wasn't condescending or anything. And he just goes, delete everything except for the last sentence, and that's all you need. Because the last sentence was like, use our fucking thing and get huge, like get jacked. Like it was all it said. And the guy's like, no, like it wasn't, and he wasn't being a prick. He was like, you could tell maybe they knew each other, like in real life kind of a thing. And it was like, oh, that guy nailed it. Like that guy gets it. And that is where and so this is again utilizing this idea of seasonal marketing and having the excuse, right? It's National Twins Day, and then you could go Bud Light style and really go after it from the 90s. But it's like you could go anything to get an excuse to be able to do something, but then be genuinely authentic, because that's what's missing.
Yeah.
This authenticity piece of marketing of like who you are, what your people want, all of these, everyone is getting so repetitive. And everyone just is repeating the same things that have been working. The fact of the matter is that if you continue to try and do shit that's been working for the last 2 or 3 years, in the next 2 years, your shit is just gonna, like, you're not gonna know what happened.
Yeah, it's
gonna stop working.
And so about this though, fresh approach. God, a fresh approach goes a long way, because we talk about batching social media content, and I think that's important. Meaning you need a theme, something you can run with, something you can replicate from, whether it's image, graphic design, photography, whatever it is, right? Let's come up with a thing and let's get 20. Let's come up with a thing, let's get 20. And this gives you just a new playground to play in. So if you're not playing the seasonal marketing game, summer is coming. Like, just use the stuff. Summer is coming, right? Spring is going to be here. So like this, each one of these things can just be a post. This is what I'm saying for your organic strategy, because if it works organically, then you can start to run it for your paid ads, which is, again, that's kind of the structure we like you to have, is like make good content, the stuff that's the best, use when you run some paid ads, and then see. But summer is coming, spring is here, pool season is right around the corner, wedding season, blah, 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 date, whatever it is you're going to be doing in the summertime, you can start to use that language, and it really freshens up your stuff. I did this for one of our MMA gyms. I started tinkering with some of the AI image creation, and I just want people being attacked by mythical creatures.
I saw the
And
one
I did a
with
bear,
the
I did a
bear.
Sasquatch. It's just like guys getting attacked by. I did an octopus one. It's a great jujitsu one, but I just want that. That's what we're doing. You know why?
I love it.
Because it's really tough for me to sit here and be like, you can get confidence and you can get fit and you can work on your agility. And at some point, your head's so far up your ass that it's just not interesting to stop me from scrolling anymore. Even though you've been doing the right thing, you've been singing your song, you've been singing the benefits a lot. Sometimes you got to just get outside of yourself, or you're that guy who's like, I went to college for 5 fucking years and I'm going to list all of the things I did in college. And that's why you should hire. Fuck off.
Mhm.
Can you entertain people? Can you get their attention? Can you just do that a little bit? And not by being thirsty and not by being slimy, but use something that's real. Humor is real. Summer coming is real. That need that someone has to not want to be fat at the fucking pool this summer. That want that people that have like had a disappointing year of putting on your swimsuit and you got to go like, fuck. I fucked up this winter, man. Like I fucked up, man. Like I thought I had it together, and now I got to go out and do this thing. And this is, I wish I would have done something about this sooner. All of that is the language. That's the psychology that you're trying to help people. That's what you're trying to do. And so now you have that approach, because there's nothing realer in this part of the world than seasonal depression. Yeah. Right now, if you could give me, it's going to be 60 degrees in 8 days, John. And there's a part of me that
Tyler.
The fucking apocalypse is going to happen before it, because I just don't believe that it's possible anymore. I don't think the weather can ever be nice. Mm-hmm. So people want this very, very badly. It is all consuming. And I think that it's really important to know that as these seasons shift, use it, really use it. And whether it is, and you can be, the connections you make to it can be tenuous. If I were to lean into winter, fall and winter, let's just go bulking season. Then I'm gonna be like, listen, let's get in. Or it is simply this is the season to build your body before we go back out. Or if you want to get leaner now, you need to start now so that next summer you don't feel the way you did in the beginning of this summer. Start in the fall. You can get an early start on it. That can be your approach then. Or add mass now. We'll peel it off in the spring. But all of it gives you a fresh angle, a fresh context to put your services into.
The one thing I really like about that, Tyler, is like the idea where it's because you can only say buy protein powder and the benefits of protein powder so many times.
Yeah.
Right. Like, so that idea. So, and then this is a great strategy if you're trying to work internally. Because if you're trying to sling, you can't sell supplements through ads or you'll get your shit shut down. Like, that's still illegal. It's whatever. And then it's harder to be like, hey, buy fucking protein if they're not a member of your gym. Like, that's a weird thing to do too. But like internally, being able to have a play where it's going to be winter. Everyone's going to put on weight. Let's not feel bad about it. So it's going to be like, get fucking bulky and like, here are the things nutrition wise. Great. Like, we're going to build your ass or you're going to get super thick. Like, and then we're going to eat with that purpose in mind, but we're going to do it the right way. So it's not fucking cake and bullshit of how you're doing it. And then the exact same flip of mentality, whether it's the nutrition or supplements that you're buying, is spring and summer are just like you said, are a great example of, hey, now you're going to send out that email. Now you are going to start to post of starting to get shredded, starting to lean out, starting to be able to strip back that weight that we put on purpose, because now we don't feel like assholes. But now you have really solid, genuine, authentic excuses to then make sales. The reason why sales feels shitty a lot of the times is that you are trying to rationalize someone to make a buy that they don't want to make.
Yeah.
And if you have the ability to where it's like, I'm doing you this is a favor. Like, this shit's always been here, but like, here, this is the ask of like, this is something that's here. This is the option.
Now is the time.
You just have the excuse of like, hey, this has been here, but guess what? This is perfect timing to do this. Now you are doing that person a favor, because if you really dial back, when you talk about like the cheesy mentality of what sales can be and should be, sales is like, it's service. Because if you really care about what you do, if you really care about your gym and the people you serve, it's like, I have to sell you this because I know it's going to help you. Like deep down, genuinely, like I have a gym and I need as many members as humanly possible in my gym because I have a genuine desire to help as many people be healthy in my community, lose inches in my community, not longer have type 2 diabetes in my community, whatever you want. So you can't shy away from like, well, I don't really want to like sell things. People, it's like, oh, do you not actually want to help people? And so again, this just allows you to then, for those of you that may be more risk adverse or adverse to the salesy type shit, where it's like, no, you're going to state the obvious and you're going to say what everyone is thinking, which is, man, my swimsuit, my love handles are way danglier than I
Yeah, I gotta
remember.
get this shit together.
Right.
And here's the thing, too. These are products you've always had very often. Nutrition
Right.
coaching, personal training. So great, you mentioned a great internal pitch, right? To just
Right.
blast an email out as well. You obviously what we talked before was your general social media stuff. Start marketing this because if you're going to connect to new people, that's a great way. You've connected the immediate thing. Fuck, summer's coming. I'm fat. Shit, fatter than I wanted to be. Gotta fix this now. Fuck,
Yeah.
fuck. That's a vibe that works great externally. Internally, yeah, it pretty much can be there too. But it's not about starting versus not starting. It can be about kind of tidying things up or whatever it is you want to do. But these are products you've always had. But do you know why you should be talking about them in the springtime? Come as you lead into summer? Because they are more valuable now. You want to know? Here's a perfect analogy for this: sports cars. Buy if you want to sell a convertible, try selling it in December. Here, I live.
Yeah, it sounds good.
And legitimately, by the way, I've even pulled some of this data up, but like you will sell for less money. You'll be able to buy for less money if you're buying in November. November, December, salespeople are desperate to make sales. They're looking to dump things off. August and September, you're getting too close. But the worst times to buy a car, especially a sports car, is going to be uh, leading into winter. Or to sell, I'm sorry, leading into winter. You're gonna try and get rid of one. People don't fucking want it. It's just, but I'm telling you, June, July, you got a convertible for sale. It's like, all right, now is the time. So
Yeah.
it's very important. And by the way, it goes in the inverse as well. SUVs, trucks, they sell well going into the poor weather seasons. Why? They're just more valuable then. People need that then. They
Four-wheel
need it.
drive.
They want it. They recognize it. By the way, if I buy a fucking convertible in June, I still got to have it in January, December. Like it still sucks for me in January and December, but I'm just not that motivated to buy one in January. But I sure am when the weather starts warming up. And so I think keep that in mind that just because you've always sold them, you've had a hard time. This is now a focus like, hey guys, these are valuable. This is the time in which it is valuable. That time window is closing. Okay, your first wedding, your first pool party, your first beach thing, whatever it is going to be, whatever it is that you're trying to appeal to, that clock's ticking. So let's go. It's very important, I think, to start to leverage seasonal changes. Again, we talk about doing just kind of continuous contact anyways, meaning you need a reason to talk about these things. Otherwise, like John, if I were going to be, we talk about hitting people up regularly about your services in your email, hit up your email list, your member base to try to run up sales, just a basic pitch. Hey, just a reminder, we have personal training if you're looking to this. But if you're just saying that on a Tuesday because it's a Tuesday, it's better than nothing for you. But if that's the way you're always doing it, it's going to start to be very easy to ignore because you're not going to connect with them. Versus if I get an email, it's like, hey, bro, summer's coming. Let's look right. let's get it right. Then that is going to make sense to me why they reached out. It's going to make me want to open it. It's the whole thing then flows in a way that makes sense because it's about me and what I want, not versus the gym just wanting to sell something.
And I think it's the industry as a whole and sales as a whole has ruined this topic or this idea a lot for everybody. But never forget the reason people buy emotionally.
For sure.
100 fucking percent of the time. There's never a time that you're not buying emotionally. Even for me, it's like you're going to eat meat. Like that's a normal thing. We're going to eat meat. Well, what meat am I choosing? There is an emotional reason or response for why I choose what I choose, where I get my food from.
I don't eat koala bears because they're cute.
That's it, right? We don't eat dogs, while a lot of people eat fucking dogs. Yeah. There's but without such extreme examples. I love that. It's people buy emotionally and then you rationalize logically. So you have to propose an emotional stimulus to prompt a purchase or a conversation that's going to happen that's going to involve a buy. And then you just are going to help rationalize logically for why this makes sense, which is, again, seasonal marketing is just going to allow this so very naturally to happen, which is, ladies, the sun is out, which means skirts and dresses come on, which means you're going to have to shave your legs. Like there's a lot of things that, like, that's all known. I don't have to say those words. I just have to say hoodies and sweatpants are coming off, and immediately emotionally, everyone's going to be like, oh, because
Yeah.
I've seen myself without those
By
items
the way, we
on.
can sound like we're being like dudes who were like, listen, guy, ladies, you want to be jacked. You don't want to be looking sloppy. This is mostly, John and I are truly mostly speaking to dudes here, as
Mhm.
John and I are dudes who spend as much time as we can hiding under hoodie season. You know what I mean? It's been very common for a lot of my adult life. It's like, oh, fuck. Now I got to figure out why my t-shirts all fit weird now. And then, I'm going to spend all this time pulling down the sides of my shirts. Like, it's my greatest achievement is not having to worry about that.
It's
Finally.
like, why is my lifting belt now causing a weird frontal orb over my dick? Like there's a
Yeah.
weird thing that's happening that I need to get fixed immediately. No, so it's that emotion, but so here's the thing. You can authentically and ethically lean into that emotional trigger to help people be able to then make that jump or that leap, because it's always emotional. So use that to your advantage, be a good human, and just speak to those simple new angles of whatever that the season allows, or whatever the thing is that's going to allow you to be able to just honestly provide value. Because that's when shit gets shady, is when you lean into somebody emotionally and take advantage, and then you've sold them vaporware or fucking false advertising.
Yeah. Well, let's jump into what happens if you don't do this, John. The consequences, guys, if you miss out on this opportunity, one, your marketing continues to be stagnant. You're going to be bored. If you're the one creating the content, you're going to be tired. If you're going to be having someone else create the content, it's going to continue to become less and less inspiring and less relevant, because it just sits. We always need fresh ideas. We always need fresh blood in the water. You don't want there to be, you don't want to just be jumping from trend to trend to trend. So you can do this. This can shape a thing that's going to shape your tone in a way for a decent percentage of some of your practical content and some of your practical internal and external marketing stuff that just works. It connects to a high percentage of people. It's easy, and it's just fucking fine. Like, put some sunshine and some beaches and some sand on some of your shit. Like, just make things less about your rusty equipment and yourself and how smart you are or whatever it is. I think it's very important to do that. And the other side of this is, not only does if you don't do this, your marketing continues to just be kind of blah. Again, we talked about the idea of a re-grand opening. Treat every new product launch or every new idea like a new grand opening. Let's hit this because we're excited about this. Let's talk about summer as though it's the first time summer is happening.
Well, the gym's been open.
Yeah, or what? Like, let's go, guys. And because with excitement is fucking real. Like, if you are excited, if it shows, it reads excitement, that now inspires activity and elevation. It works really well. The other side of this is that for the internal play, if you're selling some, bundling, if you want to bundle some of your personal training or some of your nutrition coaching, like, put a bundle together for your internal people. Say, hey, let's go, let's get tight for summertime. Let's rock and roll. Here's the deal. It's a little bargain for you guys that are already in. Let's just throw an offer together for them. Let's see what you get. Get a few people to bite. Those few people, that can be the difference. That commitment can be the difference between their gym experience this year being fruitful and being fruitless. Absolutely. They can be stale. They can sit there and it's like, and we've talked about this before. Sometimes when people are stale, they're going to start looking elsewhere
to reinvest.
Versus you give them an opportunity. It's not that they want to leave you. They may know it's them. They may know they haven't committed, but they want to recommit, and you're not giving them an opportunity to.
And it may be that it's not that you haven't talked about these things before, you just haven't talked about them recently. Yeah. So this is taking full advantage of those opportunities when people start getting itchy for some type of a result or wanting to reinvest in themselves. Boom, you're right there. Top of mind advertising right, is so applicable, not just for fucking real estate agents and not for people, not for plumbing and HVAC. It's for you. Understand, especially because you have a captive fucking audience. You have people that are
with your
already in your
existing people.
world. Exactly. So they're in your world. So fucking provide them those abilities to reinvest in themselves when they want to, because that's really when you're going to find where, man, well, I don't want to try this because we've heard, it's like, well, I've tried it before. I've tried selling supplements before, Tyler, and it didn't work.
Yeah.
It's like, how did you try
Are
to
you
do that?
still trying?
Right.
'Cause usually that's what it is. I kind of maybe blah. And this is another trap I think people can fall into when they start doing this stuff is they start to create something new. Right. And again, I'm not opposed to this, John. We've done this. We've done
Sure.
but again, we don't want the thing that you're going to build to be new to start taking away from everything else. But it's a problem. People make something that's brand new for this season, or you need to inject some new activity instead of just talking in a different tone. You're like, well, let's just make a brand new thing from scratch. And the problem with that is you can start running into a lot of issues where people can join your gym because of this new thing, right? If you're making it as an external play, trying to appeal. And then what happens is that's done and over with. If I sold my meathead, get jacked, fucking huge guy shit, and I was selling that externally and I get a bunch of new people in, and that's done, and then it's over with after 8-12 weeks. And then what they go to is what? CrossFit classes. People ain't going to stay. So I just kind of did a money grab, and I don't have anything to keep these people in. And it's a bit of a problem. It's a bit bait and switchy, even though it was maybe on the up and up across the board. But I think it's really important for the purpose of what we're talking about today, is make this be just about a fresh tone, a fresh perspective, a fresh speaking angle, speak a new language. Take everything that you're looking at as far as like, what do my clients want? What do they want? What do they want this season? What do they want for this summer? Instead of it, because otherwise you'll get stuck. I do all the time. You'll get stuck in, they want to lose weight. I want to feel more confident. I want to be happier. I want my pants to fit. I want to blah, 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 blah. And it all becomes the same formula. But again, put it into the context of the time, the season, the week, the month, the year, their events, the things that are going on. And that works a lot better than like a completely standalone new program or product that then you got to build, you got to fulfill, you got to do all the loops for. There's a time and a place for all of that stuff. But sometimes you can have all the same benefits or more by just talking about your thing, the thing you already do, in a way that people give a shit about, in a way that connects to them. And then you don't have to keep making new shit all the time.
And it's always about the angle makes all the difference in the world, because as we've talked about, just like as we kind of continue to hit these points, it's the angle keeps it exciting for you as the gym owner and as the coach. And then more importantly, it gives the excuse to your clients. We haven't talked about this before, Tyler. I don't know if you've seen it, but we've talked about Micah before from Tampa. He's the one that did the billboard.
Yes. Yep.
Have you seen his small group, like semi-private, like couples only personal training that he's been doing?
No.
It's called Sex.
Oh, I did. I saw that. Yeah. The ultimate scroll stopper.
That's all it was, because that's what stopped me. It was just fucking sex was big. Yeah. And that caught me the first time. So I clicked in and I wanted to see what else he had going on. And it is couples personal training to make them stronger in sexual positions.
That's dope. Also, it's like you need a cardio base, buddy. What are we saying here? So it just all kind of works. How awesome is that, by the way? I would just be sweating some dude. Like, let's go. Just push him hard. And the moment you hear any complaints, just look over the missus. 45 seconds in. What are we talking about? Come on, what are you doing? Hearts
the rookie numbers.
Let's go. That's fucking great. No, I remember seeing it because it was as far as attention grabbing and scroll stopping, regardless of what you think of the product itself, it doesn't even matter. To me, the marketing hit. And if people are buying based on that marketing, guess what? It's fucking authentic across the board. Then it's not sex. And this is one of the things I hate the most is when I'll see gym owners use things like that. And they're like, makes you better at sex. But then it's like, come do our regular ass shit that every regular ass person does. And then, so what, I'm just supposed to assume all these people are awesome at boning? It seems like that's not the level of specificity you were speaking about before. And that's what happens, I think, a lot if that's the other side of this too, John. I think is that if you can go the other way, whereas like you can be very hyper specific in your language, and you can have a very specific summertime program that's for summertime things to
Sure.
get you built. We've done outdoor training and shit, a lot of this stuff
Mhm.
leading into this, where that is here's the summer, and the thing is all summer momentum, and it's a new thing and it's its own product that does work. Or it's here's summer. This is why you should do one of these many services that we have to offer. And I think
Right.
it's important to know that there are two sides of it. There isn't necessarily a wrong way, just as long as it's authentic.
But the beauty of it is it's just his personal training product
Yeah.
that
Couple.
he specialized it for it and said, this is what it is. But at the end of the day, it's, well, my God, if he's able to get this specific, like now it's like, it's just the personal training piece. So again, it's something new, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's just the angle that was used. And I also wanted to hit on the fact that like the idea of the seasonal marketing or taking an angle that's unique to your spot or where you live, or all those different elements that come into play. It doesn't just have to be your group classes.
Yeah.
Right. It can be personal training. It can be nutrition, supplement. It can be every single service and product that you provide in your spot can use this exact strategy.
Yeah. Speaking of that strategy, guys, if you want to grow your penis by 4 to 6 inches before summertime, make sure you get in the Gear Academy.
It's science.
Anyway, guys, speaking of disingenuous promises, no, join the Gear Academy. That's our coaching product. We run through. We got gym owners. We're helping them with fucking everything. Whatever your next thing is, whatever the most important thing is, let's help you identify that. Let's help you grow that part of your business while we simultaneously help you with your marketing processes, back end coaching, staffing, whatever your coaching philosophy is, making your gym, and making a lot of money off of your gym is the thing that we do best. We're not here to make your gym somebody else's gym. We're not here to make it our gym. We're here to let you do what you do in a way and connect you with people who want to pay good money to help you do it. That's it. So you want in on that, go to gymownersrevolution.com. Follow me at Tyler F. and Stone on Instagram. Follow the show at the Gym Owners Podcast. And John?
At JBanksFL on Instagram.
Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll see you next week.